Somewhere beneath this water, beneath everything you can see, lies a place that makes outer space look familiar. Nearly 7 miles straight down, no sunlight, no warmth, pressure over 1,000 times stronger than what you feel right now, enough to crush an unprotected submarine in seconds. For decades, scientists believed nothing could survive there. In 2025, China sent a submersible to the very bottom. What they found has rewritten everything. We are going all the way down. Every layer, every creature, every secret the ocean has been hiding for millions of years. Our descent begins at the surface, the epipelagic zone, the only part of the ocean most people will ever see. Here, sunlight drives everything. Microscopic organisms called phytoplankton, the grass of the sea, capture sunlight and form the base of the entire ocean food chain. Krill eat them, fish eat krill, whales eat fish. All of it begins here, in the first 200 meters. But at 200 meters, the sun's reach ends, and everything changes. The mesopelagic zone, the Twilight Zone, where sunlight doesn't disappear all at once. It bleeds out. The warm colors die first. Red gone at 15 meters, orange at 50, yellow at 100. By the time you reach 200 meters, only cold. Blue remains, then that too begins to fade. To survive here, up to 80% of all animals produce their own light, bioluminescence. Lanternfish adjust their glow to match the faint light above, making themselves invisible to predators below, a living camouflage made of light. Others use light to kill. The anglerfish dangles a bioluminescent lure in the darkness. Prey drift toward the glow. The jaws snap shut. In the Twilight Zone, light is both shield and weapon, but the strangest creature here is the siphonophore. At first glance, a single floating jellyfish, stretching for meters into the dark water. Look closer. It is not one animal. It is thousands of genetically identical individuals, each performing one task for the colony. Some hunt, some defend, some reproduce. Together they function as one living organism, the longest animal on Earth, and almost nobody has heard of it. The bathypelagic zone, the midnight zone. At 1,000 meters, sunlight is gone, forever. The water temperature drops to 4 degrees Celsius. Pressure builds to over 100 atmospheres, and the rules of survival completely change. No plants grow here, no photosynthesis. The food chain from above cannot reach this depth intact. Instead, survival depends on what scientists call marine snow, a slow constant rain of dead plankton, mucus, and organic debris drifting down from the surface. By the time it reaches 2,000 meters, it is barely a whisper of nutrition. In this scarcity, life has evolved extreme solutions. The gulper eel can open its jaw 3 to 4 times the width of its own body, swallowing prey larger than itself whole. The black swallower consumes fish up to twice its own length. Its stomach stretches so far it becomes transparent. You can see the meal inside. And then there is the giant squid. For centuries, a legend. Sailors described tentacles stretching 20 feet, dismissed as madness. Then, in the 19th century, a massive squid beak confirmed the species was real. Scientists now believe giant squid may reach 60 feet in length. Drifting through this darkness, fully grown, never seen alive by human eyes. The abyssopelagic zone, the abyss. At 4,000 meters, the ocean floor opens into the largest habitat on Earth, a flat plain covering roughly half of our planet's total surface area, and almost nothing lives here. Temperature, 2 degrees. Pressure, 600 atmospheres, 600 times the force you experience right now. In this near-frozen darkness, the tripod fish stands motionless on 3 elongated fins, facing the current, waiting for food to drift into its mouth. It can wait for hours, days, and then, on rare, extraordinary occasions, the abyss receives a gift. A whale dies at the surface. Its body begins a slow descent, taking hours, sometimes days, to reach the seafloor. When it arrives, it triggers an explosion of life. Scavengers arrive first, then worms, then bacteria. Break down the lipids stored in the bones, releasing sulfide compounds that feed microbes. A single whale carcass can support a thriving ecosystem for decades. In the abyss, death is the most powerful force for life. And now, the Hadal Zone, named after Hades, the Greek god of the underworld, below 6,000 meters, representing 45% of the ocean's total vertical depth and less than 1% of what science has ever seen. At 10,000 meters, the pressure exceeds 1,000 atmospheres. Living cells as we know them, they should collapse. They should cease to function. And yet, in 1960, Swiss engineer Jacques Picard and U.S. Navy officer Don Walsh spent over 5 hours descending in the bathyscaphe to Trieste, becoming the first humans to reach the bottom of the world. They saw a flat fish swim past the window and couldn't believe it. Life at the deepest point on Earth. But nothing prepared the scientific world for what China found in 2025. China's Fendouzhe submersible, the Striver, dove 23 times into the Mariana Trench. At nearly 10 kilometers below sea level, the team discovered something that had never been documented before. Thousands of worms, mollusks, and invertebrates thriving, not surviving, thriving. They were feeding off methane, seeping through cracks in the ocean floor, a process called chemosynthesis. No sunlight required, no surface food chain required. A completely independent ecosystem operating in total darkness at pressures that should make life impossible. The study, published in the journal Nature, called it the deepest and most extensive chemosynthesis-based community ever discovered on Earth. Scientists now believe similar ecosystems may exist in ocean trenches all over the world, meaning the deep sea biosphere. The total amount of life living in complete darkness at crushing depth could be far, far larger than anyone had imagined. We have mapped less than 25% of the ocean floor in high resolution. What we have found, in the places we have looked, has shocked us every single time. What do you think is still down there in the 75% of the seafloor we have never seen? Drop it in the comments and subscribe, because we are just getting started.